were rocking and rolling. Do some printed material. You were in the marketing arena, and you were getting your name out there and your number and what exactly you do. With the online advertising, just about killing printed material. When I say that, Yellow Pages, newspapers, magazines, it has totally changed marketing forever. Just putting a website out there does not cut it anymore.
Yeah, you have to get people to get on. They have to be invited to come on. You're right.
Absolutely, you've got to do the optimization for your website. You've got to be able to get your website out there in a predominantly upfront category, because if you're just putting a website out there that just sits there and really doesn't do anything on it, you really aren't doing anything as far as the web can do for you. And I've learned this the hard way, and I know the Plumbing Council's had several sessions, and as also sponsored sessions at Unity and stuff to educate contractors. And this is the future is now. This is something that's happening right now, and marketing has changed forever. And if you think you just do this now and throw money at it and forget about it, it's totally changing, and it's changing on a monthly basis. So just keeping up with this and having the opportunity to be educated is huge.
I agree, and we just want to remind again our contractors, if they don't want to go on live with a question, that's not a problem. We're getting good questions. We appreciate it. Just press 0. We can take your question. We can answer it without actually having you be on if you don't want to, but we're certainly willing to answer any questions. Bob, the other thing I wanted to touch on that I think is important is all the community service that this organization has done over the years. We've done the plumbing for seniors, and we've done lots of other notable contributions to the community, including all the Misericordia contributions and all the volunteer work that's been on their behalf. And I just want to say one thing that we are pushing very hard now is we want input from contractors. If there is an area that you believe that our organization, your organization, the Plumbing Council, is able to contribute back to the community in any way, whether it be through our work, our skilled work, or through financial support or some way that we can help the community, we want you to let us know.
Absolutely. We've not only the Plumbing for Seniors, but Misericordia. We also organized Our Lady of Angels. Joe Albergo was instrumental in working there with a lot of the work that the school needed. We've supported the Boy Scouts of America, not only in the Chicago but the suburbs, Northwest Suburban Council, which is really, really important because the American public needs to know that contractors are people and family people and are part of the community. Too many times contractors get labeled that we're just taking the money and shoving it in our pockets. We need to show that we put our money where our mouth is, and we believe in supporting the community efforts. And I can't tell you that when I display the commercials that we did some time ago about Misericordia, I remember when we first aired those commercials, the people that were involved in Misericordia, there was an outcry and pouring of phone calls of support at that time that we did about as far as recognizing the work that Misericordia does, and that Plumbing Council contractors supported that work, and it made a lot of people proud that we were union contractors, because the non-union doesn't do any of that.
Right.
You don't see non-union contractors in this market boasting or putting their money where their mouth is and supporting the community like you see the Plumbing Council contractors do.
Yeah, and the other part of it too, Bob, is that we're more than ever we're being as responsive as possible to the contractors' needs. There's some pretty major topics that are heading our way. That lead-free law change is coming in January. We're just scheduled a class that's going to be taking place in August that Bev Potts from the Illinois PHCC is going to be leading. As everybody knows, Bev is a licensed plumber, and she'll be leading that class, and we're working cooperatively also with PMI, which is Plumbing Manufacturers International, IAPMO, ASSC, and all these groups to spread the word on that, whether it be code updates. We put the word out as quickly as we could about the new Cook County tax when that was first instituted on any products that were not purchased in Cook County but installed in Cook County. We have fact sheets on that. The health care initiatives with the health care laws that are going to be changing again in January, we're addressing those in meetings on a regular basis. It's any information, and then the other part of it is any future topics or training topics that you need from the Plumbing Council, it's just a phone call away. It's an email. It's a fax. It doesn't matter. We're responsive, and we're trying to stay ahead of that curve. So we really encourage anybody and everybody who's part of this organization, the Plumbing Council, to count on us. And no request is too large. Nothing is too complicated. We work for you.
Here's one of the things that a lot of people may or may not know, SJ, is that the Plumbing Council with the PCA was instrumental when the law was passed that in order to do drain rotting, sewer rotting, or sewer work, you had to require to have a Chicago Drain Layers license.
Right.
And they were pretty. The director of sewers in Chicago passed that law. It was like a snap. And we have, those of you that may or may not remember, we had that Robertson was his name, I believe, do a presentation at our meeting that he was thinking on putting this on the books, and he was thinking and possibly wanted our input as far as getting this law pushed forward from the sewer department. Well, it was not even a week after that meeting that it became law. So it wasn't a law that was so bad that you have to have that drain layers license, and they were watching that and they were enforcing that. Yours truly got we didn't react fast enough, and we got pinched, rod in the sewer, and we got fined. Which we didn't have it, so we paid the price. But here's where I'm going: the Plumbing Council and the PCA were instrumental because when that law was first written, it required contractors to go for a test every 3 years. Every 3 years, every 36 months, you or whoever was listed as the official license holder of that drain layers license had to go retest it. Well, I do know for a fact that the Plumbing Council and the PCA made appointment with, then it was Mayor Richard M. Daley, and we sat down with him, the mayor, in the mayor's office, with the building department and the sewer department people, and we said, look, you don't require this for engineers. You don't require this for electrical contractors. And why are we being isolated out? And they said, you know what, you got a good point there. We did our homework. We got that law changed to where at least if you're pulling out one permit a year, and that includes a sewer rotting permit, that you do not have to take that license again every 3 years, which I think was monumental. And it's what the Plumbing Council and the PCA is all about.
Oh, I totally agree. And, on top of it, Bob, we're very involved with a group called IMSCA based on our relationship that we've had with these groups. And the IMSCA is basically a group of trade associations and industry funds who work together. We defeated we overturned, if you remember, that Mechanics Lien Act that the Supreme Court had changed. And that was huge because it put the banks in line for a second bite of the apple. And, the PCA, the Plumbing Council, a number of other groups worked collaboratively to overturn that, and legislatively we were able to make that happen. I should also mention that this organization is on the forefront of defending the plumbing license laws. And that's not an easy task because there's lots of organizations, particularly our counterparts who are in the home building business, who are not contractors but are builders, who would like to relax those laws as much as they could so that they could have anybody installing these things and degrading the type of fixtures and pipes and such things that are used, which then are a threat to the safety and well-being of our customers. So I want to make sure that we say that's something that we don't just take for granted. We do have a question here, Bob, from Karen out of Frankfurt, so I'm just going to go ahead. Her question was, can we get a list of volunteer programs in which the Plumbing Council participates? If you don't mind, Bob, I'll just mention the ones that we have, and if you think of any others besides that, you can add on. But Bob had mentioned Misericordia, Do the Children's Christmas, work with Mercy Home. Also, Bob mentioned the Plumbing for Seniors, also Caught in the Act, the Maryville Academy, and for many years we were also very involved in the St. Patrick's Day parade and obviously everything that goes with that. Beyond that, I know that there's a number of our contractors who do volunteer work and will help customers who are hurting and don't make a big to-do out of it because that type of charity isn't why they're doing it. They're just doing it for the right thing, and I think that's important to mention also.
We're also involved with the Cradle.
Correct, exactly.
And the charitable group for the auto show, The First Look, which has an umbrella of all kinds of charities that participate with that first look with the auto show. The
Right.
Plumbing Council and the PCA have always had a representative there that were involved with all those charities. Yes.
And if you look at the Plumbing Council website, which is www.plumbingcouncil.com, you will find that list right on the website. As a matter of fact, mentioning the website, that's a tremendous resource, and we're actually working to enhance it even more, and it's really a good website as it is. So I wanted to make sure that was clear.
We're also involved with the breast cancer,
right.
The association with that, with the relay race. We've also been involved with the Special Olympics.
Correct. And, I should say, Bob, that just by being involved, it's not just a matter of contributions. It's a matter of actual involvement. It's a matter of spreading the words about these tremendous organizations, what they do, encouraging our members to actually be involved, to run the runs, to walk the walks, to do all these types of things. It's not just to get our logo on there. We're doing it because we're a larger part of the community. Like I said, 45 years of Plumbing Council involvement and 130 years of PCA is a tremendous legacy, and we've just gotten started as far as I'm concerned. So we have a lot that we're still going to be doing. And
we answered that question.
Yeah, I hope so. I certainly hope so. Somebody said I've enjoyed listening to Ask Your Plumber for a couple of decades. It's no question on my part, but I just wanted to let you know that you guys continue to do a great job. That's another thing that, Bob, you have mentioned to me as chairman lately. You are very interested in getting as many contractors to become part of that effort as possible. You have asked me to promote it, to get as many contractors to volunteer. Could you give us a little bit of synopsis as to how that process works, how the recording works, and the reactions you've gotten?
Absolutely. It's really the contractors, and there's been some contractors saying, well, it's only the certain few that are able to get on there. That couldn't be the furthest from the truth. We are constantly looking for contractors to come in, and all you got to do is call the office and say, hey, I would like to be considered, the next one you got coming in, can I get my name on a list? And you're going to get called, I guarantee it. But what it is dates are set up in which we do a pre-recorded show on both WGN and WBBM. And what we do is we take a ride down to the studios. The scripts are already pre-written, and you've got a preview of the scripts, so you don't have to worry about goofing up, and it's truly a great time because you're going to see how the show is put together. SJ is our monitor, and he kind of MCs the program. The script is you're reading off the script, and it'll touch the topics. May not be plumbing. It may be something to do with building trades. It may be something historical facts about the city of Chicago and the plumbing system or the water system. And it's a great way to promote your company because your company will be brought out that you are the owner or representative of the plumbing of your company on the Ask Your Plumber show. And I have to tell you, people listen to that show. I cannot tell you how many times I'll be getting a haircut or be like, oh, you're Bob Melko, I've heard you on WGN or I've heard you on WBBM. And it's just truly a great time. I guarantee anybody that does it one time, you'll want to come back.
I totally agree with you, Bob. We're actually going to be posting those, the newest ones on our website. So even if you come in and you decide as a contractor that you want to be one of the voices on Ask Your Plumber, you'll get the added benefit of it being on the website afterwards. And we're always looking for new topics. You had mentioned that sometimes it's not strictly about plumbing per se, but it might have to do with building trades or it might have to do with health or it might have to do with something else that's connected to our industry. If you have an idea and you say, gee, I wonder why they don't cover anything on this, I wish they would, pick up the phone, tell us. We would really be interested and would welcome your suggestions. But as Bob said also, we would really welcome anybody and everybody who's within our contractor constituency from the Plumbing Council to be part of it. And it is a lot of fun. Like Bob said, you record it and you don't have to be perfect. You have many chances to do it over again, and it's actually a very interesting process. If you don't know anything about broadcasting, I think the broadcasters would be just as interested in what goes on in the plumbing world, but it's an eye-opening experience, and it's a tremendous place to be.
We've also had on the shows, we've had for various groups, charitable groups that have had functions coming up. We've had representatives from those groups. Like we had Father Smith from Maryville. We had his sister from Ms. McCordia. They come on the show and talk about different activities or what their organizations do. So if any of our contractors